Well, I know King Gizzard still has quite a few shows to go in this summer tour, including tonight, September 12th. They will be in Vancouver. So I wanted to pick my five favorite shows so far this summer, and boy, the first four were easy. Then when it got to number five, there was four more shows that were in contention. And then really, I probably could have added four more as honorable. There's only really been like three shows that are like, it's just okay. The acoustic show, I guess that wasn't my thing. I don't even know if that was their thing that night. Then the day set. Okay, let's not talk about the shows I didn't like. Let's talk about my four, no doubt about it. These were my four favorite. And number one, obviously, I'll have to admit to some possible bias here, but I don't think there's too much. Newport, Kentucky was my favorite show of the summer. I think other people would agree. There certainly was nobody in the show that night having a bad time. And I think what puts it number one above like Cleveland, Chicago, Milwaukee, Red Rocks, Minneapolis, Asheville. What puts Newport at number one for me is it was my first show. It was my very first experience. Like since the first time I saw a live video of these guys on YouTube, there was just like people climbing up the wall. I listened to that live in San Francisco was one of the first things I heard live. And I was like, wow, man, this is exciting stuff. And then I watch a video, possibly from that same show. And people were climbing up the walls. There was so much excitement. And I just wanted to be a part of it. I was so disappointed that I did not go somewhere last summer. I had an opportunity. It was just like, I was still discovering the band. And I wasn't even sure if they were a live band. I was pretty convinced this is a studio band. Boy, was I wrong. They are a great studio band. So that Newport show, man, it was just everything I expected. It was a year plus in the making. And then the show, I felt like just kept getting better and better and better. And then I didn't even know that I would love the metal stuff as much as I did. But then I knew if they played not anything from Nonagon into Iron Lung, I was absolutely going to lose my mind. And that was at the point when I'd spent most of the show up there on the lawn, over to the left, right on the rail of the lawn. I had to hop the rail and just get down there, man, get as close as I could. And it was every bit worth it. And then when the show ended, I just didn't want to leave. I was just hanging around, walking around in the pit, looking at the stage, taking pictures, saying hello to people. And I wasn't alone, man. It was just an absolutely amazing night. Lived up to everything I would have expected in my first show. And I've probably listened to and rewatched it I think about 7 times now. Yesterday was, I think, about time number 7. And not from beginning to end every time. A couple times from beginning to end every time. So then we go to Milwaukee, Cleveland, Milwaukee. 2 or 3. They could really flip-flop. I think I would probably put Cleveland number 2. But then that Milwaukee, that dripping tap opener, that was one of the early songs that really got me into them. Last summer, I felt like they played it live a lot last summer. But I just felt like it was never really that great. It was a little bit sloppy. It was kind of like a celebration of the night or something. But boy, that dripping tap that opened the show in Milwaukee was absolutely, I think, probably the best one they've ever played. And what a way to kick off that show. And then the show, again, it just had a ton of stuff that I like. Maybe the microtonal stuff is a bit not on the top of my list right now. While it was, now that I'm watching all these live shows, I think the microtonal stuff is maybe, my third or fourth favorite thing. So when they ended with that long KGLW, maybe that's what knocked it down to number 3 and then put Cleveland in the 2 spot. Look, they played Ice V and Predator 10 in the same show. Come on, what do you want? More beyond that. This was on August 24th. They opened with the jam stuff with Magma and Muddy Water. They closed with Metal. And yeah, I know it's Ice 5 and Predator X. All right, calm down. Come on, you ain't never said Ice V or Predator 10. Do you even have a sense of humor? Do you have friends? All right, let's move on. Let's move on beyond that. Okay, so I think Cleveland was probably my second. And look, what a run, man, with Cleveland and Newport back-to-back. Milwaukee right there, not far away. Chicago. There was like a 10-day stretch there where they were just absolutely on fire. What the hell happened in Detroit? The LSD, man. All right, so then that Cleveland show, man, was pretty awesome. Had a lot of songs I like. I thought it opened and closed amazing. That's a big part of it, too. If the show's not like how Newport, I just felt like just continued to grow. It's like the whole song was one big jam, and the crescendo was the Nonagon Iron Lung stuff. If you're sleeping on the Newport show, go back and watch. It's on YouTube. So then Cleveland and Milwaukee, two or three, three or two, probably Cleveland two, Milwaukee three. Then I got Chicago, again, a bit of a bias here. The marathon show in Chicago, man, that opening was absolutely amazing. But if I could compare it to Newport, I felt like the fact that it was so early in the show, it didn't have the same impact as getting Nonagon stuff late in the show. After you think you've already had your mind blown, and then they go into a People Vultures Iron Lung thing, we get a gamma knife. Or wait, let's see. Then we get into the Crumbling Castle, like a song I probably didn't think I would be lucky enough to get, even though it was a 3 hour show. I did not know that they were not repeating things from the previous year. I'm glad I didn't know that. The show still ruled even despite that. Then toward the end of the show, once they got into the table jam and then ending it with that pill jam, I mean, I thought, and then from the table where it was like part table, part instruments, that was absolutely one of the best parts of the summer. And then for number 5, it got a little bit tougher. Was it the first show at Red Rocks? Was it the late show at Red Rocks? Was it Minneapolis? Was it Asheville? I liked all 4 of those probably equally. They each had their moments. Asheville over in this time zone ending at a good time, that might have gave it a little bit of a bonus. Now we're out on mountain time, getting a little sweepy toward the end of the night. But the show still ruled last night. And then even last night, man, with that crazy, the dripping tap wasn't anything, didn't near reach the Milwaukee dripping tap, but just the environment itself, just the complete downpour of rain, the fear of electrocution. I mean, what a rock and roll way to go. Would have sucked totally, but I mean, it wouldn't get much more rock and roll than that. Playing the dripping tap as an opener in Oregon during a storm, Cookie gets electrocuted. Boom, that would have been my choice. If I could have chose one guy to get electrocuted, sorry, Cook. I know my friend texted me last night. He was like, Cookie's on fire. I was like, that's impossible. Boom. Love you guys. Love Cookie. He's my least favorite member of the band. Even Mary, she was like, that guy looks like a slob. I was like, oh, he's a total slob. Guaranteed. All right, I'm just kidding. I love them all. Even Luke. Who doesn't love Cavs? You don't love Cavs or Amber. In fact, I want to start a group. It's probably already out there. I want to look. I was going to start a group called the Am Bros. Nothing but bros that love Ambrose. I'm out of here. Stu, whatevs. Who does he think he is with that hat? Joey. What, he's going to name every member of the band now? Stop it.